projects. And now we are very, very honored to have Eva Todd with us, who will tell us how to upgrade project-based learning. And I would now like to introduce Eva, and I will stop sharing my screen. Eva, please feel free to share your screen and get ready for your presentation while I say a few words about you. So Eva is an English teacher and ICT project coordinator in a vocational school in Hungary. She is an e-twinning ambassador in Budapest, and she is also the editor-in-chief of the Hungarian educational website for teachers, which is called Modern Iskola. And I had the pleasure to write several articles for this great magazine. Although it is in Hungarian, nowadays it's quite easy to translate any language. Eva is a very active teacher, and she wants her students to be very active, and that's why her projects and her work at school is really outstanding and different, because she involves her students in week-long projects, and as she mentioned in the title of this webinar, she upgrades project-based learning in her school with her students. Eva, we would really like to hear more about it, so I give the floor to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you very much for your kind words and for inviting me to talk today. So basically, Aljana has already mentioned everything about me, but so in a nutshell, I'm also, as Aljana mentioned, I'm an e-twinning ambassador and also what we call Digital Thematic Week in Hungary, which is an initiative to implement project-based learning on the level of even the curriculum. I'm also a Code Week leading teacher. I will tell you a few more words about Code Week very soon. And I not only teach English, but I teach what we call ICT project work to students. I have 2 kids. I love low-carb cakes and cookies and running on the treadmill. And if you haven't realized yet, my favorite color is pink. So what we are going to listen to today, in a nutshell, I will try to make a difference between what we Hungarian teachers often say, making a project or doing a project, or what creating a project versus project-based learning as a pedagogical method. I will have a glimpse into the specifics of project-based learning in vocational education. And I'm very pleased to hear that the participants also work in that field. And I would like to present my good practices, which I have collected around 3 key topics. First is preserving cultural heritage, thanks to digital pedagogy and project-based learning. And then around the topic of sustainability, so how to involve the macro and micro environment of the school and how to think about making it sustainable for the future. And last but not least, about social sensitivity and digitalization in project-based learning. So as I have mentioned, first I would like to say a few words about project-based learning as we should interpret it. There is a very nice article from the site called PBL Works, and I really like their whole approach to explaining the difference between doing a project and project-based learning. So what we often call a project is that we are focusing on a topic, and at the end of the topic, for example, we make the students create a poster that we place it on the school wall. And don't be offended, that's really nice, but that's not project-based learning. So doing a project, what we call it, is more like a dessert project. So it feels like a treat as an add-on to traditional education, which is product focused, but remains with the school world. But what project-based learning should be like is more like the main course. So we should focus on the process and on the final product as well. And we should create something in project-based learning that could be shared beyond the classroom. Because if you think about it, if you do, for example, something like a desert project, that could be a kind of a complementing traditional education, but it's still done under teacher guidance and focuses mainly on the product. But if you think about it, it can be prepared alone or at home, and in most cases, it stays within the school world. But if we talk about project-based education as such, the project itself is the learning lesson, and it should be guided by the student research, focus on both the product and the process, and build on the collaboration between students and the teacher acting as a mentor and not the not the unique and the only source of knowledge. And what's more, the final product can be presented beyond the classroom more widely and publicly. What I'm going to talk about today is projects that are supported by technology, but we should always pay attention that technology and using technology is only a tool, and it should not be considered as a learning outcome. So we should always consider the pedagogy and using and choosing the right tools to support the learning and the teaching process, and not the use of technology should be in the focus, but pedagogy. And I think we tend to sometimes forget about this main notion. So a good project is not the one that uses 335 new tools, but a good project is the one that manages to choose the right tools, even if we are talking about 2 tools. As I have mentioned, as Ariana has also mentioned at the beginning, I teach in vocational education, and I think project-based learning is really something that is much needed in vocational education and training, because I think this is the only way to connect theory and practice. It gives the students visible end results. And for example, in the Hungarian educational system, vocational education ends in a so-called project exam for the students, where they have to work in groups of 2 or 3, and then they have to present what they have been doing in the project. So I regard project-based learning as a bridge between education and work. And I think it's a really nice way to counterbalance demotivation, also teachers' demotivation, let me be honest. And I think it can also counterbalance previous negative learning experiences. And what I struggle the most with is that after a certain age, students are satisfied with the bare minimum, and I would like to revive this need for quality work in them. And as I have mentioned, I have collected some of my previous projects and current projects around 3 big topics. And the first would be integrating cultural heritage and digital literacy, and how to basically reshape the learning landscapes. And for me, it's quite a crucial issue because, as I have said, I teach students who are learning IT, and sometimes culture, like paintings and literature or poems, seem to be the total opposite or the total other extreme of what they are interested in. So I really like to bring somehow culture and the different perspectives into the classroom. The first example that I would like to tell you about is how we integrated culture and different cultural elements into our Code Week. So EU Code Week is a grassroots initiative, which is the main aim of which is to bring coding available, to make coding available to everyone. And in our school, we have a whole thematic week that is dedicated to coding and algorithmic thinking. And while I'm talking, let me just start this video. We don't need the sound. And in our school, basically, we have three what we call sectors of students. One is IT, and then we have chemistry and the environmental section. And when we started Code Week 5 or 6 years ago, mainly students in the IT sector applied to take part because, when they hear coding, what do people think about? It's something that men do, and it's something that is also only for IT students. So our mission is to break down the myth around coding and to invite as many non-IT students as many girls as possible to show them that they can really achieve something in a world that is at the moment dominated by men. And for the last couple of years, we have also managed to make this week cross-curricular and also involving cultural elements that I will tell you about in a second. So one such example was we have what we call the challenges during the Code Week when students can get extra points because it's basically a competition, a whole thematic week dedicated to coding, but also competing and competition between 12 teams. And one such challenge happened 1 year ago when we were focusing on time traveling. And each day we travel to a different era and a different age. And I think the most successful one is traveling back to the Renaissance and to Leonardo da Vinci's age. And one challenge was to recreate Da Vinci's paintings in pixel art. What we used was basically the conditional formatting in Excel. So we didn't use pixel art or such other drawing tools, but these paintings that you can see here, they were all done in Excel. We had a webinar, and the students were taught how to create it, and they had so much fun that we even organized an exhibition in the corridor to present these Michelangelo paintings. You can even see the Last Supper there. The original challenge was to recreate Mona Lisa in any way. But for example, one team was so enthusiastic that they decided to redo the Last Supper. Or you can see that one Mona Lisa is wearing an eggplant because the name of that group or of that team who was taking part also included the eggplant in Hungarian. So they added this small Easter egg into each of their creations. So for example, that was a really nice way to somehow combine culture and coding, let alone drawing in Excel. That was also super amazing. We also had some other culture-related coding activities, and let me start with the food. When I'm giving presentations, workshops about coding, I always tell the participants, especially if there are ladies there, that everyday activities such as cooking or baking can be regarded as coding, because if you think about it, you have to follow a set of rules which is like a set of algorithms. And if you burn, I don't know, the onion, then you have to start over again. That is what we call debugging in IT. So last year in Code Week, our topic was rediscovering the lost city of Atlantis. And one challenge that we gave the students that for the next day, they should cook something that they think the people in Atlantis could have eaten. And guess what? This amazing and otherwise really smelly plate of food was created by a boy, because it turned out that he had been taking cooking lessons for the whole summer. So it was super amazing. And we made even a magazine-like photo shoot for the food because it looked so good, smelled really bad, but it was looking really good. So and they really thought about how coding is present in our everyday lives. And on the left side, you could see how we use AI, generative AI, to for such a challenge. We gave the students some keywords that they had to make appear on in the picture, and they had to recreate the feeling of traveling underwater and what they would find while they are searching for the lost city of Atlantis. As I have said, 2 years ago, we had the topic of time traveling, and for 1 whole week, we were using a lot of different robots like Lego robot or coding Microbit. But in the end, when we asked students what they liked the most was the do-it-yourself task. So I thought that you could I thought that you would like this one because this was the most favorite for the student. So once again, this was a Leonardo da Vinci day. And as you can see in the pictures, you can see some puzzles in the top right corner. So students were given a puzzle, they had to put it together, and it gave out the picture of a Da Vinci invention. And then they had a bunch of do-it-yourself tools, and they had to figure out how to rebuild the invention using those tools, which were like pencils, rubber bands, or some ducting tape, etc. And they weren't allowed to use any online help. They could, but they would lose points. So they had a lot of fun rebuilding, for example, this wind measuring machine or the Da Vinci bridge or the catapult, and how we connected it finally with the digital world is that when they built the invention with in the do-it-yourself manner, then they had to write a review, for example, an Amazon-like review of the product, or they had to write an advertisement of the product, how they would sell it online. And I think this was one of the biggest successes of unplugged, what we call unplugged or offline coding activities. They had to recreate the invention so that it would be working. Catapult, that's quite evident, but for example, the Da Vinci bridge that you could see on the bottom right corner, it should be able to hold the weight of a mobile phone. So they had to test how much weight it can hold. So the examples that I have told you so far were from the Code Week side, but we are also an eTwinning school, and we also have regular eTwinning projects. So I have also brought you some examples how culture can be incorporated into our eTwinning projects. We have an ongoing project which is about to be closed very soon. That is called Palette of Perspectives. The main idea behind this project is that each month another country is the host of the activities, and this country provides a typical national tale or something that is part of their culture, and we have to take on different roles each month and, for example, rewrite the story, redesign, make it visible via AI, or even write music for this tale. And you could see some examples that we have been doing, but I will tell you a bit more about this later. So this is also a very nice way of making cultures meet in the digital world. Now we are just at the beginning of, at the end of this project. And for example, this month, our task was, now that each country is finished sharing their stories, was to write a collective international story. And when we were done, students had to make comics, but the different pictures in the comics had to be with AI. And for example, we use tools such as Canva, Magic Media, or Tanger.ai to recreate the pictures, to illustrate this international story. And then mostly students use Canva to create their comics. You could see some examples here or here. I think some of them are really good, and they really replicate the story of this collective and collaborative little tale that we have put together. And what I liked most is it's so new that we actually we made these comics yesterday. Is that one of my students told me that, oh my God, how come is it that it's the news that AI will take over our work and will take over our whole world, because it even won't understand that the bell should be above the dragon and not under the dragon. So they had a lot of problems to write the right prompt to be able to recreate what they really wanted. And I think this is a lot similar to prompt engineering, to be able to write the good prompts. Otherwise, you will not get the results that you need. But here you can see some great examples of illustrating these comics. Also within this eTwinning project, we joined the eTwinning Challenge. I don't know if you have heard about this one, but in the Code Week, sorry, it's called Code Week for All Challenge. So the Code Week for All Challenge can be completed in different ways, depending on how many students code together, on how many countries code together. And we decided to use the code.org website that Ariana showed me actually last year. And our students had to recreate famous poems or even songs from their own culture, and they had to animate it in a way using the code.org website, so that somebody who is from a different country could have a basic understanding of what that song or what that poem is about. And even if it was simple block programming, we had a lot of fun, and it developed basic understanding skills a lot, because students had to guess the meaning of poems, what it really meant, what it wanted to express. And we even had a lot of big realizations, what we call light bulb moments. For example, when it comes to children's songs, and I am glad that some of my Hungarian colleagues are here, there is a famous Hungarian song for children, and it is about a snail, and we ask it to come out, but it has a word in it which could mean burn or the sky in Hungarian. For example, you can see that this student who is here, he thought that this meant burning, that the house of the snail is burning, but in fact, it means that the snail should come out because the sky is its house now. So it was super fun that you could see that the student believed the wrong interpretation for the last, I don't know, 15 years of his life, because he didn't even get the basic message behind this children's song. So it was great, and I think it gave a lot of fun. And I thought that this would be too easy for my IT students. They are in 10th grade, but we had a really lot of fun, and we still talk about this exercise. So thank you, Ariana, for showing code.org. And I encourage everyone using this website, because it guides the students step by step. We had another project that also involved culture in one of my one of the courses that I teach called ICT Project Work, where students had to organize birthday parties for famous people. They had to make menu, the seating, the gift list, or even the guest list. And we included AI in a way that they had to recreate the theme of the party. You could see here, for example, Churchill's birthday party picture at the top. So it was a really great way also to involve AI in a pedagogical way. And also they had to look up the historical era and the historical environment of the famous person. So it was really great and really useful, this one as well. What we are working on now is also contains a bit of a culture. We create newspapers, with fake news, definitely, and the students have to choose pictures that they recreate from the Europeana website. I don't know if you know about Europeana. If not, then I encourage you to have a look at it. You could see, for example, here we had a template in PowerPoint, and each pair of students was given a different topic to work on, like local news, international news, or the weather forecast, or the horoscope. And to illustrate the newspaper, they had to recreate pictures from the Europeana website, and it was really great. It was then printed out and put it in the classroom, and they were very proud of themselves. And I also brought you real coding. We have these small Microbit McQueen robots, and I had an idea to make them dance. Sorry, it's a bit loud. So the task was that, unfortunately, due to copyright reasons, you cannot listen to the original song, but it was played on YouTube, and students had to make the robot dance for a specific type of music. I spanned the wheel, and each pair of students was given, for example, that you have to choose a rap song or you have to choose a retro song, and they had to make the robot dance for at least half a minute. And it also developed a lot of their skills apart from rhythm, also understanding the lyrics of the song. So we had a lot of fun. And, you know, at every moment in the class, there was a song being played, and it gave a whole new atmosphere to the lessons. Okay, so that's it about involving cultural heritage. And now let's just look at fusing sustainability with digital proficiency. Actually, this part is going to be a bit shorter because it has been in our focus for the second half of the term. First, we had the honor to take part in a learning scenario testing for Code Week last fall. And the main idea was that I asked my students that they should take a picture of an artifact that could be found near our school, and something that they think that it should be preserved for the future with sustainability ideas. And basically we devoted 2 weeks to recreate these artifacts in 3D. You could see some 3D models here, and add some 3D sustainable solutions to the recreated artifacts. You could see how they, for example, installed solar panels or recreated even the metro line M1, and then they presented their ideas to the others. And I think this was really great because they had to work on their very own ideas, and they had to work on their very own environment. Let me show you this one, because this one is my favorite. This is the recreation of a statue called the Bear bare playground next to our school, and my students recreated in a way that the statue should be holding solar panel leaves, and if it gets enough sunlight, then there could be a beehive that is on if it gets enough power. And I think this was a brilliant idea and also a nice way of preserving cultural heritage, but also making it sustainable and available for the future. So we had a lot of fun transforming the cultural heritage of the school's environment. But we also transformed the school itself, because once again, thanks to Ariana's amazing colleague and her students visited our school, and the main idea was to make our school sustainable. First, students could recreate different parts of the school and make it sustainable. You could see here some 3D designs, and also we use AI to recreate the ideal green school of the future. But what was the most impressive part is that I have some amazing students who are really into Minecraft, and the whole idea was that during this 1 week visit, we rebuilt from scratch our school, but with sustainability ideas. So let's just watch this one. You could see the whole process in time lapse, how the school is built. And it was a challenge to our students as well, to our very own students, not only to our guests, because they had to look at very close to the environment and come up with new solutions. But if you have ever been to our school, it totally replicates the outside, and it looks really great, and we are very proud of this task. You could see how they renovated it with solar panels or gave it a new solutions, or they even installed rain collecting stuff in the yard to be able to make it greener, and it totally looks like our school. So we are very proud, and they had a lot of fun in Minecraft because they were given a specific purpose to do. So it was really great. I'm very proud of them. And last but not at least, I left a bit more time to this one because this is really fresh, and it might be new to our even amazing host, Ariana and the ladies, because back in The Hague, I just told you about my plans for this, but now I'm really proud, yes, I must be proud to present how we managed to nurture soft skills, social sensitivity, and digital competencies into a single project, which happened just 2 months ago in March. This project, which was called Patrickade, was organized around the initiative that I have told you at the beginning of my presentation, which is called the Digital Thematic Week. This is organized yearly in Hungary since 2016. So its main aim is to include project-based learning in the curriculum. It's organized every spring, and the main idea is to develop 21st century skills, but also the initiative gives a lot of professional support. It also has its own ambassadors, a lot of webinars, and it also rewards innovative practice. And our school has been participating in the Digital Thematic Week for 7 years now, and we always do a new project with a new topic, and it has been, well, it's a lot of effort to come up with new ideas. But for the past 2 thematic weeks, we have managed to combine not only the different subjects that the students are learning, but the different sectors that we are teaching, and I would like to tell a bit more about that. So this year, I came up with the idea of the Patrickade. You might remember, this aid ending, which refers to helping others in a way. So it was a 35 lesson long project, involved all the 3 sectors of the school. We had participant and organizer students from 4 grades, and we even managed to open the project to the broader school community. And the main idea was that I contacted a lot of foundations, and finally 5 answered, and our students in the groups acted as a kind of entrepreneurs who are supporting, or who were supporting, the foundations for a week. We asked the foundations what they needed help with, and we tried to make our best to do it. First was, as mentioned in the previous slide, we were the whole week, the peak of the whole week was a charity fair. So first we focused on creating digital and physical products that could be sold at this fair. You could see here in the picture that we were creating so-called challenges that could be sold as posters, but we also created what we called magic balls, which were basically 3D models, but wrapped up in something that I will never totally remember, by our chemistry students, and that they could be sold at the fair. One big activity that is very much liked during these thematics weeks. So once again, these are 35 lesson long activities, so they last for a whole week, is the so-called offline team building activities, because we are also responsible for the health and the good well-being of the students. So we always organize offline activities that can bring the whole group together. You can see here an example for the offline activity, which is basically unplugged coding. Another iconic moment of these thematic weeks are the so-called Easter eggs. You might remember Easter eggs from the video games. And we also include these Easter eggs. So these are small hints hidden under pictures, for example, on the school's website, or sometimes in my presentation that I present every day. You could see here one example. Once again, thank you, Ariana, for showing this quick QR art. Basically, if you have a look at it, we were just a few days before Easter, and I created this QR code with the bunny, with the quick QR art, and then I expanded the picture with the Canva, and this was the lunch break picture for the project. And students were coming in and coming out, and they didn't even realize that something was different, you know, in the projector and what was projected. And like 2 minutes before the lunch break, that was when one student realized that, oh my God, there is a QR code hidden in the bunny. And so it was really tricky, and we had so much fun because we were sitting there in the corner and waiting for students to realize that something is hidden in the presentation. What was also innovative about this year's thematic week was involving the whole school in the form of flash mobs, and these were also thematic flash mobs because they were organized around the main initiative represented by the foundation. For example, on the left side, you could see a bone because it was for a foundation for a dog shelter, or the 21 because it was for children dealing with disabilities or illnesses, just like the Down syndrome. And another novelty for this year was the on-site visit to the foundations. Students could really meet the foundation that they were working for. They got to know a lot of behind-the-scenes information about the working and how each day is managed in the foundation. Every year we ask for companies to support us in the forms of experts, so real professionals who students can talk to and ask for their help when they are working on different challenges or different activities throughout the week. And as I have mentioned, our project closed in a charity fair, and each participating student could invite 2 guests so that we could have, an audience who could buy the product. You could see some pictures from this closing charity fair, and they had 30 minutes to sell their products. And it was really nice that when they had only 5 minutes left, they even organized sales, like you pay 1, but you get 2, so you get 1 for free. So it was really nice, and the income was given also to the foundations. Here you could see some photos about how they presented their work, how we had mothers and grandmothers in the audience who could otherwise not really see what these children are doing for a whole week. And at the top you could see these magic balls and also some other products that the students could sell at the fair. So if I had to summarize the key elements of these initiatives or these project-based learning activities, here are the things that I would emphasize. The first would be involving stakeholders and professional support from experts. We are very lucky to have a software developer company supporting us for the last 5 years, and we are very grateful for their professional and personal help. The support of the school management is, of course, a must. There should be a teacher team, because I think alone it would be very difficult to organize these. And now I'm very happy that we have managed to link the 3 sectors that operate in our school. And as I have mentioned, we have a mentor and an organizing student and staff. So it means that we have a whole bunch of students who are working side by side next to us as organizers of these activities. And I think organizing these project-based learning sessions provides and gives us an opportunity for continuous professional development and also inspiration from communities. And I think it couldn't happen without the openness of the participating students. And also we have the students that we call the VIP members. These are the students who are, well, ex-students now, because they are not at school anymore, but they still come back every year. For example, this guy, Bruno, who you can see in the picture, this was his 7th year back at school as now as a judge already in the project week, because he says that these weeks and projects have a feeling that he cannot find anywhere else, and he always loves to come back and see what new things we came up with. So I think what I have told you so far in the last more than 40 minutes might be a lot or might be a bit too intense, but I think that if you go back to school tomorrow and do one thing that you haven't done before or try one tool, that's a great start. So we should also see that these activities require a lot of effort and a lot of extra working hours, but I think these are worth doing it, because otherwise students like him wouldn't come back even after 7 years to be able to participate in it. So I'm also asking an exit slip because that's also a tool that I always use when I'm having a project week, but I'm waiting for your questions as well if you have in the chat. But still, there is this tool called WooClap that I use from time to time for exit slips. And I would also like to share it with you. And also, Ariana and the ladies, if you would be so kind as to participate. So while you are thinking of questions, please also think about 2 things that if I can find back to my presentation. Okay, no, I couldn't find back. So 2 things that you saw today that inspired you or that you think you will use in the future, and one thing which was a pleasant surprise that you didn't expect before coming? Thank you very much for the woo clap. And okay, sorry for the big letters, but so these are my questions. So first is, let's just start with this one. So one thing that was a pleasant surprise to you during this 1 hour that you didn't expect. So it was a pleasant surprise. If you could start with this one. So only one thing that you didn't expect, but it made you happy or satisfied. If you could join, I think this is the right code. Yes, amazing, new, going, okay, or with a smiley or something like that. Okay, social project. Okay, code, culture. Okay, we have 3 answers so far, and at the moment there are 6 of you. Okay, new, culture, code, coding for girls. Yes, that's very important in today's world, to provide this belief to girls that they can also excel in such a field. Okay, and the next question would be 2 things that you saw or heard today that inspired you, or that you think you can use in the future. It can be either a tool or an idea, or a topic that you liked. Hidden QR code, yes. If that's one thing, actually I asked for 2 things, but never mind. Okay, let's say hidden QR code and poetry. Yes, hidden QR codes, these are really great, and try it with Canva to expand it, amazing. Poetry, try this code.org website, even if you are not an IT teacher. Yes, you can recreate songs with AI. Well, actually, we wrote the songs with AI, so yes, you can try that one. AI in Canva, you thought that that was inspiring to you. Try it because it's great, and it's for free for teachers in Canva. Okay, I think we are done with the feedback. Okay, and okay, let me ask if you have, let me just turn back my camera, if you have any questions. Okay, thank you, Marianna, for your answers.
Thanks a lot, Eva. I mean, this was really, really very inspirational, and all the tools that you use. And I mean, you can know about the tools, but if you don't know how to use them with students, you know. But you certainly do, and it was really, really great to hear all these amazing projects that you have done with your students. And I can say that what especially inspired me was how your students react to all these projects. So having these students come back after 7 years is really amazing. But we also saw pictures how dedicated they are and how enthusiastic they are to do all these projects. So I think that they wouldn't mind having a project-based week, digital thematics week all year long.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm sure they will learn much more than, on regular school days in their regular classes. Thank you so much for
I would sign up for
this.
that school too. Absolutely. Thank you, Eva. It was really amazing to see how many things you do. And I forgot to mention at the beginning that we were really grateful to have you at the Hague conference, to tell the others as well, just to encourage our colleagues here to really apply for these seminars, because you can meet personally such enthusiastic and great colleagues from around Europe, and learn a lot of things from one another. And it was really inspiring for me again to see how you bridge their word and the word that we want to preserve. I mean, cultural heritage, and maybe just anything about sustainability. I loved your idea about the Minecraft building. My kids are all about Minecraft, so I will definitely ask them to plan our house in Minecraft
that's great,
in a
yes.
sustainable way. So I'm really happy, and thank you so much for this wonderful presentation and for your work.
Thank
It's
you.
really precious.